Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Carolyn, who is a women's health nurse practitioner. Currently, she is operating her own practice where she provides women's health, hormone replacement therapy, functional medicine, and basic mental health services. She's needing assistance with narrowing in her services and rebranding her practice, as she is providing more mental health services as she was expecting and wants to step away from that, in addition to getting away from the insurance game. Hey, Carolyn, how are you?
I'm good. Good, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for hopping on here. So let's jump into this. So tell us about yourself, how you've been a nurse practitioner for, and what sorts of things that you've been doing.
Yeah, I've been a nurse practitioner since 2005.
Okay.
So super long time. I've had my own practice since 2015. So in the state that I'm in, they allowed full practice authority. So I did not get that until like 2017. But I've been, I don't know if I answered the question. I think I did.
Okay. So you've been a nurse practitioner for 18 years, basically. What sorts of things have you been doing for, work?
In the beginning, I was doing women's health, traditional OB-GYN. I did that actually for a really long time. Well, until 2017. So like 12 years. And then I was asked specifically to go and work with a group of like a mental health practice where they included like a women's health component piece, a holistic piece. And that's kind of where I fit in. So I worked for a very short time, very specifically with a psychiatrist. It wasn't ideal, obviously, but did the basic stuff, so totally within my scope. But unfortunately, it set me on a trajectory to where I'm at now that I want to get off.
Yeah. Okay. So you started your practice when?
2015.
Okay. So you've been operating for 8 years now. Awesome. That's awesome. Are you doing fairly well?
I'm doing fairly well. So 2 years ago, I left that practice and I've been on my own. So I brought a healthy practice with me to my location now. And when I did that 2 years ago, yes, the practice has doubled. My income has doubled, or at least I should say, the business piece has doubled.
Awesome.
But it needs to be better. I know it can be better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you are providing basic women's health services, hormone replacement therapy, functional medicine, and mental health. So you accept insurance, right?
Yes. Right now I just have Blue Cross. I have over the last 2 years gotten rid of Aetna and United, but still I take Blue Cross and obviously some cash stuff too. Mm-hmm.
Is it mostly cash?
No. I would say maybe 30%.
So the other 70% is just Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm assuming you don't take Medicaid, Medicare, nothing like that. Just Blue Cross Blue Shield private payers.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And so you're wanting to abandon the Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with, I know you want to talk about stepping away from mental health. Let's talk about stepping
Mhm.
away from insurance first,
Mhm.
unless talking about mental health first would make more sense.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
way.
Okay. 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 So stepping away from insurance. So 70% of your revenue is coming from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, uh, have you been picking the brains of your patients to ensure that they're going to stay on board and pay you cash, or is there going to be a problem?
I know that's a good question. Not really. There's like a story behind that though. It does include here's why. The biggest why is that I am not attracting the kind of clientele that I'm hoping to care for. Because as you know, when people come with insurance, they don't have any skin in the game. They're
Right.
reluctant to pay their copay. And so because I do a root cause approach, I mean, I can't get people to do the things that in my paradigm I want them to do, which is blood work and testing and all of this. Um, Lifestyle changes.
Right. They don't want to pay for those. They don't want to pay for those things out of pocket.
You got it. You got it. I have people legit, they come to me, they're like, so yeah, I'm just coming to you because you take my insurance, but I want you to do the functional medicine approach. And I have to tell them, I'm like, look, insurance doesn't cover functional medicine. So I'm in this space that I feel stuck.
Right. Right. So you feel like that if you just stepped away from insurance, that you would just basically avoid these people to begin with.
Well, that sounds horrible.
To
I
an
don't know. I
extent,
don't know.
it doesn't sound horrible. This is your business. This is your life. This is how you want to practice, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a passion there, and I would love when people come and that feel like they have skin in the game, and I have that. It definitely has shifted over the last couple of years. So
Okay.
I'm confident over time it would indeed shift and grow. It's just taking that initial step with so much of the practice being insurance based.
Right. Right. Well, how did it go when you abandoned the other insurances? I mean, you've gone through this once before.
Yeah, fabulous question. I will tell you that with United, when I looked at the numbers, it was such a small fraction of the practice. I did not lose too many people because I offered them a fair price for their visits, and a lot of them stayed. When I got rid of Aetna, I seriously had 40 people or something on Aetna, and the ones that stayed, I think the majority of them left, and again, some of them converted to cash.
Yeah.
You
You have
know,
any idea what percentage?
no, I don't think it was a very big percent of Aetna that
That's significant.
stayed.
20% or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, those are the 10 to 20% that found value out of it, right?
Say that again.
The 10 or 20% who stayed were the ones that found value out of it. That would,
Obviously.
enough value to pay cash.
Yeah. And it's hard, as you know, it's hard to find because honestly, those people are the ones that I'm treating, for their anxiety or their depression or their ADHD, the basic stuff. And it's hard to find a provider.
Yeah, sure.
So they chose, I gave them such a deal that, they just chose to stay because I only see them a few times a year.
Right. It's really not a big deal. Okay. So, 70% of your income here is Blue Cross Blue Shield. I mean, it's a big
Significant.
chunk. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea, just, going through your mind here of these patients, like what would you guesstimate? How many of those people do you think would stay? Would it be 10 or 20%, you think?
I think at least. Yeah.
At least. Okay.
Yeah. I
So,
would hope
sorry.
I would hope half.
Half. Okay. Well, let's just say half. 50% is going to be okay, great. Okay. But let's just be really conservative here and let's just say 20%. So that way we can, have some realistic numbers here. Cause I think it's always best to be a little bit more pessimistic when making predictions like this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you have 100% of your income, 30% is cash based, and then the other 70% is insurance, basically. What was your
Mhm.
income, let's just say, over the last 12 months?
So do
About
you want the practice drew in?
gross income,
Yeah.
total, basically, before expenses, everything. Just how much money did you bring in?
I think it was, let me just think for a second. 275. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember right now.
So between 275,000 and 300,000, basically.
It was less than 3. I
Yeah.
think it was maybe it might have been around 250 actually, 245.
Okay, we're just going to say $250,000. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so $75,000 of that is from cash, right?
Mhm.
And then the rest of it, the $175,000 is from insurance. So let's just say, let's be very, very conservative here. Let's just say 20% state, right?
Mhm.
Which doesn't really seem like that much, right? But let's just be conservative here. So that's $35,000. So with the cash-based stuff that you already have, you're looking at $110,000. So significant decrease in your income.
Yes. Yeah.
That's 20% though. Okay. We're being very pessimistic here.
Mhm.
Right? If it's 50%, it could be a hell of a lot more than that. Okay. But let's just work off the $110,000 because, like I said, I think it's better to undershoot this stuff than overshoot it and then have a lot of disappointment and, failed expectations and whatnot, because that's just
Mhm.
going to set you up. Anything more than this is going to be a bonus, right?
Mhm.
So go into this with
Yeah.
low expectations. Yeah. So a pretty significant income decrease. So $110,000. Is that going to keep the doors open?
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah. How
Mhm.
much of that's going to be profit to you?
Uh,
Let's say you made 250,000 over the last 12 months. How much have you paid yourself out of that?
I'll be
Estimated
honest, that's been an issue too. I'm paying myself about 60 right now.
60,000.
Yeah.
So where's the rest of the money going?
Well, right now it's just back into business. I have one employee. That's it. I'm just not paying myself much right now.
So you just have a lot of cash just stacking up in your
Yeah.
business account.
Yes. Yeah. There's do you want numbers? Do you
I
care
mean,
about that?
you mean estimated.
Yeah. There's I have almost 100,000 in the business account right now.
Yeah. Okay. So you basically made $160,000.
Yeah, but it's just, yes.
You got to pull that money out, put that shit to work. You can't have it sitting in there.
I know. And that's where I'm stuck. I feel very stuck.
Right. I mean, you're missing out on 5.5% interest rates right now. You're throwing money down the drain.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Yeah. You
No,
need to pull
it's okay.
it. Okay. So anyways, all right. You're living off $60,000.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Not comfortable. I would like more. There's all kinds of things I would love to be doing. I for
Sure.
sure. Yeah. So there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear. I'm the major breadwinner for my family. So there's just a lot of fear.
Okay. No, I
Mhm.
get that. All right. So this is if you just stopped taking Blue Cross Blue Shield. You
Mhm.
just stopped, and 20% comes along for the ride and pays cash. Okay.
Mhm.
That's one option. Second option is to do this very, very slowly.
Mhm.
You slowly transition out of it. You tell the patients ahead of time, hey, over the next 6 months, we're going to be transitioning away from insurance. These are going to be the prices. I can continue seeing you for 6 months. That way it's expected. They slowly transition into it.
Mhm.
So you just do this over a prolonged period of time. The people who just will not pay you cash, you can
Mhm.
continue just billing their insurance for a little while longer, as a favor. Okay, all right, fine. I'll keep seeing you for 3 more months, blah, 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 blah. And, you might have a handful of patients that just stick around that, okay, well, I'm making $10,000, $20,000 a year just seeing this handful of patients doing Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Mhm.
So you could do that. You could just do this very, very slowly. That way it's not a huge hit on your income.
Mhm. That's a good idea. Mhm.
Yeah.
With insurance, when you transition out of them, you're obligated to give that 90-day. But I didn't think about giving them a little longer. That's a great idea.
Give it a little bit longer. I mean, this is a lot of money.
I know.
Like, this is a significant amount of money. This is 70% of your income.
Well, let's pause there for a second. I go back and forth because I do feel that people, and maybe this is wrong thinking, I don't know. I would never make a good lawyer because I feel like I can argue all sides. Um, I feel that people need to have access to care. But I also feel like I don't want to be a part of the traditional system. I want people to have some skin in the game. So I want to draw a different kind of client. And so far, in my experience, insurance folks they don't have any skin in the game. They just want the pill and walk out the door. And I guess I want to do more than that in my practice because that's what I've been doing my whole practice. You know
Right.
what I mean?
You don't
So
feel
then
very,
the
you don't,
question begs is, do I get rid of insurance or do I really just keep it and just get a little more discerning with the clients I take? Because that's what I've been doing the last, say, 8 months, actually.
and how's that working?
I mean, it's working. It's working. Like there's certain, like I took services off my website, that I just don't take anymore. There's things like on Blue Cross's website, I can take mental health services off as an option because a lot of people are still finding me there. I can just start telling people as they call, hey, not doing, that basic psych stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you could. So what you could do is that the patients that you have,
Mm-hmm.
this is a solid income stream. Okay. Instead of just throwing it away, what you could do is you just stop taking in new patients, right? And just keep the people that you have, and have them be more or less your bread and butter for a little while. And then when patients call, you can just basically say, hey, we're not seeing patients for that anymore, but we're doing integrative psych now. And this is what we do. We're not going to just give you a pill. We're going to try to, find the root cause, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we don't bill insurance for it, it's cash. 20% of people probably will bite, but you'll slowly build up that cash arm as the insurance arm slowly just dwindles away. And that might be 2 years, but you'll have that financial security in the background.
So how does that look? Like, say a client calls and they're like, okay, I really want to come there. My sister's there, blah, blah, blah. Because I get a lot of people that come to me as word of mouth. I've been in this area a long time. And they're like, but I have Blue Cross. So how do I get around that? Like, if they still want to come, like right now, what I've been doing, if they do services with me, like I do some pellet therapy, which, is not covered by insurance. And so I have them basically like an ABN saying that they, cannot turn around and bill their insurance. Would that be, in your opinion, sufficient enough? Say they still want to come to me and they carry Blue Cross. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, because you're contracted with Blue Cross, so you're obligated technically to see those patients, right?
Right. Unless it's services that clearly are not covered.
Right. So what you're doing is just not covered.
Mm-hmm.
I do this approach, and you're not going to cover it. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can have them sign an ABN if you want. Just to cover your ass. But it's going to happen. What's the worst case? Blue Cross Blue Shield yanks your contract because of one person, when you could probably argue easily that what you're doing is not covered for that individual. You know what I mean? They're probably gonna be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Well, as long, if in your experience, that's always the fear out there, right? That they create, like they can just come in and, audit you or swipe all that money from your account or blah, blah, blah.
Right. Well, I don't think that would happen over a situation like that.
Right. I guess, what? I didn't think of that actually, because what I've been doing is just telling them, look, you want to come here, you want that holistic approach. I've just been offering, sure, we take your insurance because I thought I was obligated to, but maybe I'm not.
You're not obligated if the service isn't covered. And you're also not going to be obligated if you're functioning that cash arm under a completely separate LLC.
Mm-hmm.
Like all you got to do is go form another LLC online for a couple $100, open up another bank account, and all your cash patients are under that. That entity's not credentialed. So therefore, you're not obligated to contractually take those people.
Well, that sounds like a fabulous solution.
It's a solution. Right. You could do that. And listen, you're only going to be doing this for a little while. Like it's not like it's nothing crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're doing is not going to be covered anyways. Like you're going to be doing an integrative approach to
Mm-hmm.
care. You're going to be doing these labs. You're going to be doing these treatments. You're going to be doing these sorts of things. That's not a standard E&M code. It's not a standard covered service. So really,
Right.
at the end of the day, I don't think it's anything to really truly be worried about.
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Like, I do. I tend to be an overthinker. I'm a rule follower, an overthinker.
I mean, yeah,
All the
and,
stuff that we
right.
do.
I get that, but you're not even breaking rules here. You're really not. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, you're providing non-covered services. And listen, at the end of the day, this is what I tell people all the time that are worried about this with Medicare and insurances and stuff. You're saving these people money. You're not taking money from them. You're not a priority. Their priority are people who are committing fraud, who are taking money from them, fraudulently
No.
billing them. You're not. You're saving them money. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and then other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah. All right. That leaves me things to think about. That's great.
Yeah. So that's, I think that's probably going to be the best approach for you. I think that's going to be the best approach. I think just keep the patients that you got. They're your bread and butter. It's a solid income source. And then just start building up this cash arm slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, the cash game's slower. It takes a little bit longer to build a really robust practice.
Right.
Right. It just does. It just takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely seen it though. The 2 years I've been on my own in my own space, definitely have seen it. It's great.
Yeah. It's fantastic. How much easier is it to be cash only?
Oh my gosh. Do we even have to ask?
Right. It's a stupid question.
Yeah. My receptionist, she does everything. She's like my office coordinator. The look on her face sometimes with billing, I'm like, she really has it down. She's amazing. But I tell her, I'm like, look, one day we're not going to have to do this. And she looks at me with such excitement.
Right. And joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deal with arguing with people, this is an aside, and I'm struggling right now too, in that I order lab work with people and I have my own cash panel, which is really affordable. But I have these people, again, they're in this insurance paradigm and they want to use their insurance, which is fine. Well, then they get a bill for $700. It's double what I charge. And they're mad at me.
Right.
And I'm like, you wanted to use your insurance.
Right. You wanted to use it.
So then what happens is my receptionist, she's going to, because we do things for people. We're servants, right? So we'll do anything for people to help them out. Money is money. You can't mess with people's money, right? And she's going through hoops right now with a couple of my clients with rebilling and recoding and all this stuff, specifically through Quest Diagnostics. Like, I don't know what is going on there. But that's the kind of stuff that I hope to just really be done with, so that I can just say, look, the cash price, this is what we're doing. No muss, no fuss. Here we are.
Yep. I hear you. That happens all the time at my mental health clinic too. You want to use your insurance? Oh, all the time. You want to use your insurance for the blood work? We're warning you right now. Your insurance doesn't pay for this stuff. You're going to get a big bill from the lab company. Don't come back to us when you're pissed. We're telling you right now, you can spend $175 for this lab work. $175, guaranteed. You're done. Where you can go to the lab, use your insurance, and then when they get billed for $1,200 and they come in yelling and blah 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 blah, we told you, dude. We can't do anything about that. Sorry. Sorry. Like we can send them some new codes, man, but we told you.
Yeah. Do you have that a lot? Like, how do you handle that with your client?
I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but we tell the patients right from the, we warn them. And most of the time, because we warn them, they will call and be like, you were right. We should, I'm just going to pay cash from here on out. So, I mean, most of the time it's usually, they're pissed, but they're understanding because we did warn them. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while you get someone who's irate about it. Those people, we'll we'll call the lab and, oh, can you send us some new codes and blah, 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 blah. And then you send the new codes and sometimes it'll go down. Sometimes it won't make a difference. If they have a $10,000 deductible, tough shit, you're going to pay it.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyways, though, I think that's a solid plan for transitioning out. Just kind of keep it as a revenue stream. Yeah. If you're going to accept new patients for insurance, be extremely selective, low drama, pretty simple, straightforward patients. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can be selective with it if you want, or just slowly transition away from it over a couple of years and just start building that cash arm.
Yeah, no, that's a fabulous idea. I just didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband is not, he's my business partner just because we're married, but he's not a part of the business. But, he said to me just this morning, he's like, just because you take Blue Cross doesn't mean you have to take those people.
No, you don't have to.
It's so hard to turn people away.
I know. Especially as a business owner, because you're like, okay, money.
Yeah. But,
revenue, plus you're helping them too, But yeah, I mean, pity on them.
Yeah. And what I'm finding, the longer I do this and the more that I'm really trying to refine and hone in what I want to be doing, not everybody is a good fit. And so that's the struggle for me, is creating that boundary, creating that definition, so to say.
Yep. You have to just create those boundaries. You just have to. And you have to be firm with it. Yeah. You can't make exceptions.
Right. Well, and I tell you what, too, I'm burning out. I mean, I think I was reading something that you posted about burning out. I'm like, ding, 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 because that's what's happening. I have all these people that have accessibility to me, and not everybody needs to have accessibility to me, So I'm really working on the boundaries, because I want to keep enjoying my job. But I'm telling you what, there's days I'm like, why am I doing this? I want to run away to Indonesia. Just be somewhere. Because forget this. Mostly with the clients that don't have any skin in the game, that they really don't. I feel like I want more half the time for my clients than they want for themselves. And that's my issue. That's my struggle.
Yeah, you have to just set boundaries. You can't burn out over this. You can't be everything for everyone. You can't. You're just a human being. We're not designed to help 30 people every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For tens of thousands of years, we lived in small towns and villages, and the village doctor or the village shaman or whatever the hell you want to call it, the healing person, helped a couple people a week.
Yeah.
Our minds just aren't. We're not designed for this, and therefore you burn out. And so, yeah, I think that if you become more selective, you'll just be a happier individual.
Yeah.
Like my office manager got on to me. This was just like a couple days ago. Patient came in, a new patient, mid-40s, no primary care doc, nothing. And we did the initial blood work on him, because we always do blood work first before we see the patient. This guy's hemoglobin A1C was 14. His lipid profile looked like absolute crap. His LFTs were elevated from fatty liver disease. I'm like, dude, tell them that they need to follow the primary care doctor to get this stuff under control before we see them. He's like, you're just going to turn them away? I'm like, yeah. I don't want that person in my practice. We do testosterone replacement therapy here. This guy's a liability as far as I'm concerned. He needs to get that stuff situated first. I don't treat hemoglobin A1Cs of 14. I don't do that. You know what I mean? And so I set the boundary. office manager was like, "What are you're throwing away money, blah, blah." I mean, that's all that's all he sees. Right. So, yeah, you just gotta set your boundaries. But having that patient come in would have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah. I mean, you could have done the initial eval, taken their money, but then said, "Hey, you need primary." And then they might have been mad.
Right. I'm not going to do that. We saved them the money, just, hey, the lab work was on us. Here you go. This is, go see this person. Like,
Yeah.
we're not treating you here. 14 hemoglobin A1C. Come on. You need some more advanced treatment that we're not going to provide you here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. I mean, that's multi-drug therapy. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So anyways, let's jump into the mental health aspect here. So you want to get away from this as well?
I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, I get a lot of referrals from the Blue Cross because I still am listed on there as a mental health provider along with the women's health. That's probably the first thing I need to get rid of. But those clients are, when they call, I typically just send them right to psychiatry. So that is one thing I did start doing in the last couple of months. If they're just straight up mental health, like meaning they've worked with a psychiatrist, they've got multiple things going on, multiple drugs, I do not take them. So I just straight off giving them my psychiatry list. And then, like I said, I get a lot of referrals from the therapists in the area. And I feel like sometimes those are okay fits because oftentimes those people are willing to do the work so that they don't have to go on medication.
Right.
So there is that fine line, which is, that's why I wanted to chat with you because I want to provide help to my community within my paradigm. And honestly, what it comes down to, honestly, is that this is just hard work.
Yeah, especially when it's not something that you're specialized in, really. I mean, you have the experience, you have years behind you with it, but
right. Well, and that's just it. So that, like I said, I think moving away from that and really just getting back into the hormones and the women's health piece, I would love to have like an IV clinic to offer, again, playing off of the detox, but for the functional medicine piece. That is the piece I want to really grow and shift towards. So a bit of rebranding, like you were saying, that second LLC. I think I already know the answer to it.
I think you probably do.
I think I just needed to sort of, get that encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that if the functional medicine root cause, having patients have some skin in the game, that's what you want to do. And that's what your passion is. And that's what your heart's telling you to do. Then I think that's just what you need to do. Okay. But you still got to put food on the table, right? You still have to bring money in to keep lights on, to keep the business going, to pay your employee. So you still have to, do your adulting things, right? And your business owner things. Yeah. So, So you still have to, you're still going to have to do the Blue Cross Blue Shield stuff for a little while as income. And then stop seeing new patients there and really focus in on what it is that you want to do. And that's what you focus in on. That's what you rebrand. And that's what you start rebuilding your website with. Because you can get rid of the stuff that's bringing in these insurance accepting patients because that's not who you want anyways. Just get rid of that stuff on your site.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So just rebrand, Sure, you can form another LLC, call it whatever you want, functional medicine or women's integrative health or whatever. Okay. And that's where you just start doing cash through and then keep your other LLC for the insurance and call it a day.
Go from there. Yeah.
Now, the rebranding thing though, be careful. A lot of people know what functional medicine is, but you might want to be a little bit more specific in your name, more women's integrative health or, finding the root cause of your, finding the root cause of your disease or root cause healthcare, whatever it is, make sure that you're just somewhat more specific about it, telling people what it is, because they might not know what functional medicine is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. So make sure you explain that explain that on your website.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. And change your Google business listing to that new name.
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
Right. You're rebranding. You gotta be consistent with your branding across the board with everything.
All right. Lots to think about.
Yeah. Because you probably have a lot of reviews and stuff on your Google business listing. You don't want that stuff to go away.
Some of them I want to go away. I don't like reviews. Google reviews can suck it.
Yeah, but they can make your practice, though. It's so important.
It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You want as many reviews on there as possible. 5-star. You don't want the negative ones, but yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So absolutely.
Yeah. So do you have any other questions or thoughts or anything?
No, you've really helped me kind of solidify, clarify things that I've already been thinking about, which is when I think back right now, thinking back where I was even just 2 years ago, moving on my own, away from collaboration, away from a practice, and just being all out there. That was one of the scariest times in my life. And so to be here and to say to you that I am being a little more discerning, a little pickier about the clients I take. I never thought I would ever say that.
Right.
Because it was all about just take everybody who comes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. During the business startup, you'll take anyone. You just need money. Yeah.
And so it's just really great to be in this position of growth. I did play around I had a nurse practitioner last summer for a few months. That didn't really work out very well. So I've tried to grow a little bit. Hopefully one day that'll happen with the right people,
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
But so thank you. Thank you for helping me kind of lay it out there.
No, you're welcome. I know I helped you a couple of years ago kind of get started, and now you're here, and now you're having some growing pain issues, right? Like this is the next step in your business to where, you really start solidifying down, what it is that you're going to be doing, and like you said, you can be picky now, this is your business now, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100%, which is so cool to say. Can I just, so my husband has his own business and we've been married 16 years. And I remember, leaving for the office in the morning, my little 9-to-5er. And he's like, I got breakfast. I'm like, wait a minute, you're going to breakfast? Don't you have work to do? Well, yeah, but I'll get to it when I get back. And I'm like, dude, I want your life. And I remember thinking, getting mad. like what do you mean? And he does it now still, and I get a little upset, but because I work really hard. I'm not saying he doesn't, but I feel like my work is a little different than his. But anyway, and so, but he is just a little more leisurely about it because he's been doing it for twice as long as me.
Right. Well, his business is probably a little bit different too. With a medical practice, you open up at a certain time, and
Well, that's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But so he would say to me, when we were first married, he's like, well, just start your own practice then. I'm like, it was, we didn't have full practice authority. I'm like, I didn't even know how to do that. I couldn't even imagine how to do that. So the work you're doing is amazing. The work you're doing is changing the face of medicine and what nurse practitioners have to offer. And it's great. And I'm so glad I found you. So thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the positive words. And, I'm just happy to see that you're doing well. So, I don't know if you listened to a whole lot of the podcast or not, but I like to end the episode with you asking me a question, a personal question or a curiosity or anything like that. Something that you might have just been curious about or wanted to ask me.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess I want to know, how many hours a week do you really put in working and define working?
Yeah. Well, today, now, okay. Well, 3-4 years ago, it was, 60 hours a week, no question about it, maybe more. When I first started Elite NP, I was juggling multiple businesses. I mean, I was working at, I was doing my men's health clinic. I was doing medical cannabis. I had an online telemedicine practice going. I had, I was working practically full time at an urgent care. So I was working a lot, and it's not even like, 60 hours of actual work. Let's not even factor in the amount of hours of just like laying on the couch, like watching TV. I'm not even watching TV. My mind's somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Right. So, yeah. Today, though, I don't know. Let's see here. 2, 4, 10. I don't know. That's less than 20 hours a week.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And most of that is honestly just, writing content for Elite MP, talking to people like you, answering emails, actual patient care anymore.
Yeah.
4 hours a week.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's my dream right there.
4 hours a week. Like, I just don't, I don't do it that much anymore. I just don't. It's not really my thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like treating patients and seeing patients, but I only see very select people at my men's health clinic. Everyone else gets seen by the 4 other nurse practitioners that are employed by me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's my dream right there.
You can get, you can do it. You can get there. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can. I'm serious when I say that. I'm not special. Like, I'm just a normal guy who just started some businesses, worked his ass off, did things right, sprinkle some luck on it. Like, if I can do it, anyone else can do it. I'm serious.
No, and that's what I love about you is that you bring it right down to earth.
Yeah.
Down to earth.
Yeah. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything here, Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Well, I definitely will be talking to you again when I need to be hiring those nurse practitioners and the risk of that.
Yeah. You could, just a random thought here. You could go down that route now if you wanted to, if you kept the insurance and grew that part of your practice. You Super just true. See the cash-based functional medicine stuff, and you can hire another nurse practitioner to do the insurance, mental health, and stuff. So something to think about.
Yes, absolutely.
It might be something to think about here. Okay, like you could, if you have lots of patients calling you, an insurance company sending you patients and stuff, and you're going to start turning it away. You are turning away business. Yes, you are. You're turning away revenue. Yes, stuff that you don't want to be doing. But why couldn't someone else be doing it for you, making you money?
Yeah, I need the right person, Justin. Can you find them? Send them my way.
Yeah, it's hard to find that person, right? Yeah,
it is.
There's the Facebook group, and honestly, if you post an ad on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or things like that, and you're just very selective, you'll find the right person. It just might take a few months. It took me a few months to find some of the nurse practitioners that I have.
Yeah. Did you go into it though knowing what you wanted, or did you go by feel? Because that's a hard thing to bring someone into your practice.
I kind of went into it just all based off of like feel. Like, I didn't really know what to expect. All I knew is that I'm going to hire someone that has to be kind of like me.
Yeah, right.
I can't hire someone who's, also a nursing professor, who's by guideline 100%, by the book, never cusses. No, we're not going to jive.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So it's just more or less, who do you click with, right? You want to employ someone that you can work with well.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway,
I have lots to think about. I appreciate your input.
All right, cool deal. Well, listen, if you ever want to do a follow-up, just let me know.
I will do that.
All right. Awesome. Take care.
Thanks, Justin. Take care.
All right. Bye. All right. Hope everyone enjoyed the conversation with Carolyn. She is in a phase in her business where she can kind of dictate what she wants to do. She doesn't want to accept insurance anymore. She wants to go cash only, and I don't blame her. So if you have a practice and you accept insurance, you want to get out of it, there's multiple options that you can do. Typically, the safest option is to always transition slowly. You never want to give up a significant income source in your business. This is even for cash-based stuff, Let's say you're providing one service and you don't want to be doing it anymore. Don't just throw it away. Just don't stop it, especially if it's producing a significant amount of income. The best thing to do is just to slowly transition away from that service. And if it's insurance, just slowly transition away from it and build up the cash arm of your practice. All right, hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.